back here. And the information I was able to glean as to what actually goes into that quote from Mr. Mark Strong at DTE was the boring underground to the nearest service, I forget the word of what it is, the nearest service outlet, which is 350 feet away from the sign's current location. So that's what goes into the $17,000 figure. And then I know a quote has also been received for, and a PO filled out for the private side of that, where DTE hooks up power to the meter, and then a contractor hooks up the sign to the meter, thereby completing the circuit. So quote has been received for that. The private side of that is only $2,000. That was $1,900 something to get that end of it done. The DTE's piece, getting power to the sign, is $17,394.65.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Green.
To our city attorney, we know, this is do you have to go to DTE on something like this? I mean, is there some on a private pool? I don't know.
You do not, but if you do not, then you won't be billed to DTE. DTE, other electric companies, since the deregulation, purchases electric from DTE, so we would be paying another company, and we could look into getting quotes from them. However, what Mr. Forty was trying to explain is that there is, at one point, an absolute responsibility on our part to connect those in order to get electricity and get it to work. We may not have to pay a monthly or quarterly bill, but it's going to include DTE at some point. Now, we can't go back and get other quotes.
I'm not suggesting that.
Okay, but
I know, I'm just saying there is an opportunity.
wasn't there a sign at one time out in front of City Hall that was working? Yes.
That's old fiber.
Okay, so why?
It won't work.
Power is power, right?
It said no.
It's not powerful enough or fast enough underground conduit or in the conduit to power up that side.
We have to put a whole new.
Well, our dilemma is we started the project and now we have to finish it. So it becomes a budgetary. Where does this money come from out of our budget? For the sign, the power, who does that? Where does it come out?
The money would come out of the construction account,
So that $200,000 we have left?
the $2 million you have left,
$2
yes,
million?
yes, sir.
God, that'd be bad on the budget. I missed by that. So as far as I'm concerned, then I think we need to expedite this, and get the yellow thing out of there, and get a sign up there. So that's I'm ready to make a motion unless other board members have more discussion.
This is a cash price. They don't amortize this over, bill it to us on an amortized basis over a period of years.
As far as I know, they do not. He basically said that was the price for the work. Did not mention anything about amortization.
Mr. Chair, if we enter into a contract with them to do the work, they want the work, the funding as soon as it's completed.
And when are they going to complete it by, did they say?
Didn't they say like 14 days?
14 to, I believe they verbalized that they would try to complete it within 14 days.
Yeah.
And now this is a fixed price. They'll do it no matter what they run into in that 350 feet.
Well, that's what they tell us in writing, but
Hey, let's last one.
if any of you have experience with DTE, we know that sometimes that can happen. They can run into things that you don't expect.
I don't know. So someone on the city staff has verified that the power that was out there for the old sign will not work with this sign. So we're not just taking their recommendation and running with that. We verified independently that in fact we need to do this, we need this power, we need this type of connection for this to work.
I talked with Lee Overly in the building division, the electrical inspector, and he verified that DTE would have to get involved and do this work. So.
Okay, but
Yes.
We can't use anything that's there. Is that correct, Henry?
You know, I can't tell you either way, I'm not an electrical type person. I agree with the board, why can't you use the power that was there? But what I understood is that when they disconnected, I think a lot of that was removed.
It was.
Yeah,
So some of that would.
that's kind of what I'm
Place.
understanding at this point.
And there would be more cost with that as well.
That Mark Strong.
This is brand new.
He told me they can't reuse what's out there. He sent 2 guys out to the site to check it. It has to be.
Okay.
I would make a motion to contract with DTE to run the electrical service to just electrify our new sign out on Van for $17,933.65
Motion by Mr. Earl,
Support, and can we?
support by Mr. Green. Discussion.
Can we amend this? What about the other part? The 2000, do we have a quote on the other part? What we
And I would amend that motion to include the $1,941 to JB Electrical Company to run the power from the meter to the sign.
They already did
We
that.
already did that.
That's already
January
done, so
5th,
we don't-
2011.
Yeah,
Oh, so that's all, we don't have to do that.
And paid for.
they
It
already
hasn't
did
been
that.
paid for
So,
yet.
so then the motion stands as originally indicated,
They
right?
didn't do the
It's
work
not the
yet.
initial.
They did.
Oh,
if I-
until we get this.
Yeah, you have to, the page they do electric, you have, they hook the power, our electrician will hook the power up.
Excuse
So
me.
that's what you're waiting
All right.
So is the motion correct?
Yes.
Mr. Earl?
That sounds like it is.
Support by Mr. Green. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one opposed. Motion carries unanimous. Item 7C, update on clock at City Hall.
He said the whole. All right.
I added this because I was very clear, I hate to be a pain in the ass, but I was very clear when we built the building, we're putting a clock on, the darn thing's gonna run. So someone needs to look at it, get a price on it, and get it fixed. That's my opinion. So, who's gonna do that? Nancy?
We can work on it together, and Jordan has been really good at getting quotes. and-
We got a purchasing department and all that, so let's get some quotes and.
Jordan,
You
55.
can-
Will do.
I suggest you a motion in support.
Yeah, so great, thank you.
Okay, so need a motion to solicit bids and get the clock fixed and bring those back.
So support or something.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Mr. Earl. Discussion?
I just add that I went to the farmer's market, and one of the most common things people is fix the clock.
I'm almost right up with this.
Buy space.
Right, that's right.
Fix it. You're the mayor, fix it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, list of bills. Mr. Clark.
There's a list of bills from May that's out there, because we didn't have a meeting in May, and there's also a list of bills from June 1st. Is there any questions on any of them there? There is a correction on the list of bills from June 1st that you received. On the first bill, it says U.S. Bank, and it says mileage. It's actually bond paying agent fee. It's a typo. We didn't correct until this morning when I was reviewing it.
Can't hear you, Mr. Clark.
Send that down.
Right, Dennis.
Okay, on the June 1st list of bills, the first item listed there is U.S. Bank for $487.50, and it does say mileage, but it's actually for bond paying agent fees for those bonds that were paid earlier in the year.
All right, is there any questions on the list of bills? Otherwise, we need a motion to approve the 5-4 and the 6-1 list of bills with the EMS units were previously approved, so.
Nancy, did we ever take your conference stuff?
No, that's on the next no, it's on the next set of bills for June.
No, it's on the next item.
So 2 funding requests.
Okay, if there's no questions, I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Spencer. Support. Support by Mr. Wiegand. Discussion on the list of bills. Mr. Spencer. Mr. Wiegand.
Yes.
Mayor Fouts.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Earl. Myself, yes. Okay, item 9, funding requests. Item A, request from Mayor's Office for Macomb County Chamber membership for 1 year, tabled from DDA meeting of April 6, 2011.
Motion to approve.
Support.
We gotta pull it off the table.
Motion to off the table.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Mayor Fouts, to pull it off the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Mayor Fouts. Discussion.
Important that we stay in some of these groups to keep abreast of current activities and do some networking. I mean, it looks like, sounds like a good way to save money or not.
So it looks like we achieved a reduction in our efforts over the last month or so.
Through the chair, we did, they reduced it by half
Excellent.
after much discussion.
Excellent.
Thank you for your effort and your courage.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9B, request from Assistant Director of Community Economic Development for reimbursement after attending Michigan Business Incubator Association Conference in East Lansing, Michigan on May 25th, 2011.
So moved.
Support. Motion by Mr. Earl, support by Mr. Green. Discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Green.
anything of interest that you could share with us, Scott and Phil, or next? Would they gain any interest in this?
Numerous items I would like to bring back to the board. I talked with Mr. Brown and explained that I would like to prepare a brief report, provide it to the board prior to our next meeting, and then if there are questions, I would be happy to respond to them at that time.
And I just brought to Ms. McInerney this, something I saw in the paper about grant fundings and incubators, so as she gets on board, the grant money available, let's go get it.
Agreed.
And I'll share everything I have and learn with that constitute.
Appreciate it.
And then, as far as this whole issue with Ms. McInerney, we just need some assistance to make sure we follow all the protocols and we get it over to the council timely so that it can be approved. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. I'm sorry?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you. Motion by Mr. Earl, support by Mr. Green. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Green. Support. Support by Mayor Fouts. All in favor? Aye.
Just out of curiosity,